today I'm making a video again. It's been a while. Well, a few months, but before that was ages. So welcome back. Now today I'm going to be talking about Hellbent, because as a finale, it's loved and hated by a number of people. Myself, I've had mixed opinions on it since it aired in 2015, and opinions can change, which is why I'm making this video, because my opinion has recently changed. So enough of me babbling, let's actually talk about the episode. It's quite a mixed bag. There's several pros and cons. One of the main ones is the finale. I feel like it should have been a bit bigger. The Doctor and versus Rassilon thing was really cool, and I would have loved to see more of that rather than it just be sort of finished in the first 20 minutes. I would have liked to see Rassilon, the Doctor sends him away. A little bit later on in the episode, Rassilon comes back with whoever group of people, and you have the Doctor and the Time Lords who are on the Doctor's side, and Rassilon and whoever he's with, and have them have a bit of a battle, but didn't happen. However, in this episode, it is more of a episode focused on the Doctor and Clara and their relationship, which is what is the episode? That's what the episode's supposed to be, and at that it is quite strong. You get the audience gets a chance to see how far the Doctor would go to protect Clara, and you get a little bit of it the other way, but that's more in episodes before Clara. There's a few bits that are they're slightly out of character for the Doctor, I think. Him shooting the General, which was a little bit unnecessary. I feel like it was a little bit just to actually show a Time Lord regenerating from male to female, the actual being able to see the gender swap, because obviously you'd have Missy before and that the Master regenerated into a woman, but you hadn't actually seen it. I feel like that was just to show that. I don't think it actually needed to happen. I also, the General was played brilliantly by Ken Bones. That's his name, I think. I don't want to say it is because I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. He played General brilliantly, and I would have loved to see him in future episodes. I mean, we haven't seen the General since anyway, but it would have been nice to see. You do, although it does feel slightly out of character for the Doctor, it does show how far he'd go to protect Clara. But you also, in these moments, you do have the people around the Doctor, especially Clara, being this isn't you, what are you doing? Fucking stop. Which is a nice way of showing and bringing back how Clara helped 12 grow after his regeneration, because 12 was very I don't care about people, I'm not gonna save people, and then Clara brings that back into the helps the Doctor bring that back into himself, which is nice. And it's nice to see it brought back, because that is one of the main aspects of 12 and Clara's relationship, which I can, if you would like me to do another video on that. I kind of covered it in my defending Clara video, but if you'd like me to do a video on 12 and Clara's relationship, let me know, because why not? I'm going to keep looking at my phone, by the way, as well, if you haven't noticed. You know, I don't mind they brought Clara back after Face the Raven, but I would have liked to see her go back at the end of the episode. Just because, you know, like, go back to the trap shoot, because her death in Face the Raven, still to this day, like, I watched the entire of Face the Raven to Hellbent in the last couple of days, and still to this day, her death breaks me inside, and I still have tears in my eyes. So I would have liked to have seen her go back, because it was done so well, and it just takes away a little bit of the, it doesn't take away the impact, but it takes away, like, watching Hellbent and getting to the end and like, oh well, she's still got ages before she actually goes back, and it's just a little bit like, I would have rather had her, give her this extra time. I am more than okay with that. Clara is and will always be my favourite companion, so any extra time with her is brilliant, but it just would have been nice to see her go back and, you know, also not be stuck with a shielder, because I hate her. She's so annoying, and I know other people that will agree with me on this. A shielder is the most pointless character, and, you know, she could have been so much more. There were so many theories about who she could have been, and none of them were true, and it was just a shielder who, I find really annoying with the whole, like, oh, I'm me. No, you're not. You're a shielder. Stop being annoying. But anyway, this is not an shielder rant. Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of the Doctor forgetting Clara, which is, no matter what my opinions on the episode have been over the last six years. Yeah, 6 years. No matter what my opinions have been, I'm not a big fan of the Doctor forgetting Clara, because it just felt like unnecessary. Like, I can see the reasoning behind it. It was the Doctor went too far. He broke all his rules just because he didn't want to lose Clara. That's fine, but the Doctor realises this, and at that point I think is when he should have been like, okay, I'm going to take you back to Gallifrey, we're going to put you back. The forgetting aspect is just a little bit irritating for me, just because I love their relationship so much, and it feels like that whole 2 series was just a bit like after series 10. I know he remembers her in Twice Upon a Time, but after series 10, you know, it's a little bit like, oh, he knows she was there, but she doesn't know what she looked like and all that. He only remembers what they did together. So I'm not the biggest fan of it. I've said that about 5 times, I realise, but, you know, we move. But all this in mind, I do really enjoy the diner scenes, and basically every scene with 12 and Clara in this is done brilliantly, which is again why this episode is meant to be a 12 and Clara episode, and I would have rather had the Time Lords and Gallifrey saved for a later episode. I know they fit in well, but I even had an episode before this where they went to Gallifrey and had that, because Gallifrey and the Time Lords come back, it got announced or leaked. I can't remember whether it was official or leaked, but just before the episode aired, it got announced and it became a really big thing and everyone was really excited for it. And then you know, you had Rassilon gone in 20 minutes and all that. So that's one of the issues I have. But this episode is supposed to be a 12 and Clara episode, so that could have been saved for another one and had this episode working. Maybe the Doctor goes to the Shadow Proclamation and does it or something. I don't know. But yeah, I just feel like that would have been better saved for another episode. And the only part of this episode which I've just like made the decision that the only part of this episode that doesn't have something to go against it, like a good point to go against it, is how it tries to explain the hybrid. Because to this day I still don't understand what the hybrid is, and I feel like it was a little bit pointless as a series arc because it never actually got explained what it is. You know, one point it was Dalek and Time Lord, then the Doctor was like, I'm the hybrid, then everyone's still questioning what the hybrid is, and then you get a Shielder coming back and she's like, oh, the hybrid is you and Clara. Like, it, and then it basically ends up as each character having their own idea of what it is and is never actually confirmed what it is, and it just makes the series arc feel a little bit wasted and fall flat for, you know, a good explanation. But to summarise, was Hellbent a bad episode? No, it's not a bad episode. It's got its low points, but the low points have the high points to go against them. And as I said earlier, the relationship between 12 and Clara, and now I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, I had stuff point out, I noticed the flaws, but then recently, last sort of couple months and stuff, I've started to remember why I enjoyed the episode in the first place, which is 12 and Clara, and all the moments that they had that do work in the episode. And yeah, so, you know, it went from being an amazing episode, my opinion completely flipped when I noticed some of the flaws in it, because it is a flawed episode. Every episode has flaws. So it is a flawed episode, but it's got the good points to go against the flaws. And now, 5 years later, I think I've settled on an opinion. After a rewatch the other day, I've looked into it. I was sat there talking through the episode, pointing out the bits that I liked, pointing out the bits that I was not sure about, didn't particularly like, and I think I finally settled on opinion and a rating, which, you know, ratings will change depending on when I watch it. I don't think it will ever be lower than as low as it was again, but it's possible that it might go up slightly. Like, I rewatched it yesterday, I gave it a 6 out of 10. But now, today, after I've thought about it even more and written this review, I'm going to give it a fairly solid 7 out of 10. Which is quite a jump from where it was before, because it was about a 3. Because you know, that was for 12 and Clara. They brought that episode to a 3. But now I think I've settled. I've settled an opinion. My rating I haven't settled on, because my ratings will change every time I watch an episode. Or even very slightly. Like, a lot of my rankings end up as 0.5s because I just can't decide between two numbers. And I'm also quite generous with my rankings. Most of the time. So yeah, 7 out of 10. It's not a bad episode. I will stand by that. Yes, I had low points. Yes, I had high points where I liked the episode, I hated the episode. Well, not hated, but it was low down on my list of episodes to watch. Like, I barely rewatched it between 2018 and 2020 was the first time I watched it since like 2018. But yeah, that is enough of me babbling. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what your opinion of Hellbent is in the comments, because you might agree, you might disagree. I feel like a lot of people are going to disagree, because I know a lot of people that do disagree, and until now I agreed with them, but I don't anymore. So yeah, let me know your opinions. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, goodbye.